Well, after 7 years with Coventry, numerous promotions and many, many games, this weekend, Mark Robins returns to CBS in the opposition dugout. Therefore, it's surprising to see tweets like this. Do not chant Robins' name. We're going to get the panel's view on whether that is disrespectful. Do not chant his name is our first topic. We're also talking about diving Coventry. We have some Oxford fans who were not very happy about the ease of which Coventry City go to ground. We'll get the panel's view on all that in a second. We're talking about the February Player of the Month, and we're manifesting the playoff final. We are fifth, guys. Fifth. Can you believe it, Scott?
We did it, but we haven't done it.
Oh, fantastic, isn't it? Fantastic.
I keep looking.
We're in dreamland, I think, looking at the table, seeing that we're still fifth. It's superb.
All right, we're going to get to the Oxford game in a second and all the fallout from all the goals. Talk about some defensive frailties as well. But first of all, we've got to talk about the game this weekend. Stoke City are coming in bad form. Ben, I've got to say they're not playing well at all. But Mark Robins, of course, is the man who will capture most of the media attention, and rightfully so. Tom says Robins has had his time. But Coventry is moving forward with Lampard, and it's time to back our new boss as he leads us into the future. Tom says Robins has had his send-off. Enough said. Please don't clap, cheer, sing, or even look at Robins. It'll be the worst thing since we sang about Gus at the CBS. Where do you stand on that, Ben?
It's a very, very touchy subject with our fan base, this is. But for me, I think it's pretty simple and a short answer. You give him a clap after the game. Until the game's finished, you want to see him crying in his chair, to be honest. But everything Robins has done for us, we all understand, and everybody loves him for it. But it's siege mentality now. We're in a crunch time position. A couple of losses, and we slide back down that table. So we get business done first, and then we have our pleasantries after it. For me,
I was amazed at these tweets actually out there, Jay, from fans saying, "Look, he deserves nothing from us. Sing Lampard's name. Don't even acknowledge him." I mean, that's just rude, isn't it?
Yeah, to a degree, I agree with one of you. Personally, I'm a big fan of Doug King, but the one error that I think he's made was the send off that Dave Robins at the time. It could have maybe written a bit of a better message to him, could have maybe released a video. So it almost felt like the fans didn't really get to say goodbye to him, which is a shame, obviously, all the things that he's done for the club. But I'm with Ben. I personally can't really see anyone sort of clapping or singing his name prior to the game because the managers don't come out, the players come out. So I can't really see that happening. It'll be an embarrassment if you sing his name during the game. And then after the game, I'll be there. Hopefully we will put them 5-0, and I'll be clapping Frank Lampard. I'll be clapping the lads that have performed well and won us 3 points first of all. If Robin's still around after that, obviously I'll give him a clap. And that's about it really. But knowing Mark Robins, I'm sure he will, if anything, quick clap, turn around to the crowd and to walk off. But hopefully we batter them 5-0. He's going to be for Stoke. It'll be a bit embarrassing for him if we beat them. Hopefully beat them, and then he's sort of taking the plaudits from Coventry fans. Stoke fans absolutely livid. They were annoyed after the last game at home when they lost to Middlesbrough. So obviously there's a bit of tension. The fan base already not directed to Mark Robins, more to the senior management. But again, I don't personally see when it is a good time to hear him or sing his name at all. I just don't think there is a good time through it at all. And like Ben said, I'm going to be supporting my players, my team. I'm going to be supporting Frank Lampard, singing his name rather than anybody else's, because at the end of the day, he's a rival manager now to us. Unfortunately, he's not my manager anymore, and I will be supporting my team. Sorry for a bit of a long rant there. Hello?
Cheers for that, Jay. Really passionate. Tom, many say he's had his send-off already. I don't think he has he?
No, I wouldn't say he's had a proper send-off. I remember before the game against Cardiff, Lampard's first game, they did like a little video tribute for him. I mean, I completely missed it because I was there late. But except for that, they haven't done anything. I thought the statement they released when it first happened was shocking. But I do agree with the lads on here. He's a rival manager at the end of the day. Back Lampard, back the lads. At the end of the game, I'm all for giving him a bit of a send-off, bit of a clap. I'm all for it because I love the bloke. I love everything he's done for us, and I will forever love him. But he's not our manager anymore, as everyone has said, and I'm stand by that. I've got to be careful what I say because it's a very touchy subject, as Ben said, and my head could be cut off with a few people. So, but at the end of the day, we'll forever love Robbins. I want him to have a proper send-off after we beat him, hopefully, obviously. But he's another rival manager during the game, and as Ben said, I want to see him crying. So there you go. Lampard's the man. I think it's a good decision to get rid of him. I mean, it wasn't working anymore.
All right. Let us know in the comments where you stand on this. Surely something before the game or during it. Right, let's focus on some of the other issues coming out of the Oxford game. No, great win. A great result. Before we talk about the defensive frailties there, let's talk about one of the main issues the Oxford United fans were talking about. Summarised by this tweet here, Swiss Yellow says, Coventry are already looking like a Premier League side and that they're falling over and rolling about at the slightest breeze. What a load of wet wipes. And Oxford United fans on their podcast said something similar. So, yeah, you're already looking like the Premier League divers. Are you having this?
No, I wouldn't go that far, no, Mark. I think we are getting a little bit more savvy. I'll put it that way. Numerous games we haven't fallen over in many games and watched the opposition do something similar. So I think we're learning slowly. I don't think we're overdoing it at all. If there's contact these days, whether you like it or not, contact results in a free kick or whatever it might be. But I don't think we're anywhere near as bad as many clubs to be honest. Which I think we're just learning and start to be a bit more clever, and it's working for us. I think the referee did give us more than Oxford, to be fair to them at the weekend. I thought he was quite sky blue happy at times, but
he was. Yeah.
You take it, and sometimes you don't get them. So that's fine by me.
Okay, Ben, do you agree? Or I mean, you get frustrated when you watch the Premier League and watch people falling over at slightly nudging. Can you share that same pain when your team are doing it?
It's just the way it is, and that's what it is. So I was getting a bit pissed off with us not doing it at times earlier on. Was a bit naive, and now we're playing the game. I love it. Ollie Dovin jumping on the ball in the last minute. I'm all for it, but I agree with Scott. I think the referee was very a little bit biased towards us for some reason. But the one chance he did give us, we missed the penalty, and their first goal was 100% a foul. I'm all for the housery sort of stuff. You play the game, don't you?
All right. Let's have a look at some of the other tweets coming out for the defensive display. J. Rob says it was a bang average performance, but the best teams don't have to play their best to get results. On to what will quite be an interesting home game. Flashbacks of when Stoke beat us 4-1 at the CBS when we were on our playoff chasing streak, and there's a couple of people that mentioned that as well. But yeah, was it a bang average performance?
Yeah. I think maybe a step higher than bang average. It was an okay performance, a decent performance. We had good patches. We started off really well. Maybe could have got a couple more goals at the beginning and sort of let Oxford back into the game. Defensively, I think the midfield didn't really help the defence that much. Bidwell left, I thought was getting exposed. He's one of. I'm not going to try and pronounce the Oxford left winger's name. But he was left one-on-one with him, and I think invested him for most of the match as well. I felt he needed a little bit more help on that left side of the Coventry defence as well. The defence it wasn't the best of performances, but it wasn't by far the worst of performances. We were definitely the better of the two teams, creating more chances. But yeah, it was a bit of a crazy game for about 80 minutes, and I was hoping Grimes and Sheaf and Eccles would have sort of calmed it down, which they never really. But yeah, I thought it was a decent performance, but it's a sign of a good team. We're winning, we're grinding out results, and we've got that little bit of class, fantastic little goals like Sakamoto at the end there. So yeah, I think we deserve the win overall.
Okay. Cheers for that, Tom. Mark says, great perseverance, very unwilling though. If we had played a better side, we'd have lost that one. Eccles is good at defending, but outside of that, he really is the obvious weak link. Bidwell was exposed until they took their best player off. That was Romani. These are where the upgrades are needed. So on that point, Tom, of if you were playing a better side, you would have lost. And the weak points, do you agree with all the above?
Yeah, I do think if we played a better side, we'd have lost. We definitely would have. There is still mistakes there. I mean, the first goal for Oxford, I do think Kitchen was fouled. It is a sloppy goal to concede. The second goal, you could even argue that the player was in Dovin's way. I do think Dovin could have done a bit better with it, but there's still mistakes. But we're getting there. We're grinding out results. Eccles, it's a weird one because at the beginning of the season, we were all singing his praises. You know, he's one of our own. He's amazing. He was my player of the month, like every month. And I don't know, really. He's just kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit. And it's such a shame because I still think he's a really decent player. There's a lot there to him. He's still young at the end of the day. He's got a new contract as well, which is nice. But I don't know, the rest of the season, we might see more of him now because Radoni's injured, which is a shame. But he's kind of fallen off a bit. Bidwell, he's a bit 50-50. I think he can have solid games, but there's so many mistakes in him as well. He should have scored after the penalty as well, I'd say. I do think he got fouled, though, as well. It should have been another penalty. But the thing is with Bidwell, I do think we need to upgrade on him. Big Az's got a new contract, so just back him. That's the thing with these players. They got contracts, just back the current squad, back Eccles, back Bidwell, and hopefully we'll keep grinding results and get there. So that's the main take of it, really.
Scott, do you agree that Eccles is the weak link in this team?
Again, like Tom, it's a bit 50-50 because I think there was probably 1 week when we were talking about player of the month, and I think however many were on the call sort of picked him out and he's playing brilliantly. But I guess you have to remember, you know, when he's on the same pitch as Grimes, and he's always on the same pitch as Sheaf, there is a bit of a difference in quality, but doesn't mean to say he's a bad player. I thought he was okay at the weekend. Didn't really do anything drastically great or bad, I don't think, in my opinion. He was there, and I quite like him. I like the way he gets stuck in at times. He's certainly, you know, you could see him on a Sunday morning playing a proper game of football. He can get away with some decent tackles, but I like it. So yeah, I just don't think he'll get in the side once everybody's fit. If I'm honest, defensive frailties. I've got to ask a question of the lads because it's been bugging me for about 2 or 3 months that when we sort of get counter attacked, and I know Ben's played at a decent level, I can't figure out why our centre halves just turn and run straight back into the box without looking at the player out wide and let them come into the box. I mean, if you looked at the second goal on Saturday, I think Kitchen was fouled. The ball went wide. Bobby Thomas ran back straight into the box, and the lad almost got to the edge of the 6-yard box before he squared it for their goal. And I just don't, whether it's something that they've been taught to do, but they don't seem to even close the angle down by 50%. It's almost like a straight turn and run back into the box, and the winger's got acres of space, in my opinion. And, you know, we talk about backing off. We back off far too much, in my opinion, at times, defensively, which causes us problems. And it sounds like it looks like to me like it's being coached because it happens on a regular basis, unless I'm missing something.
Ben?
Yeah, I think that it is coached. A lot of our shots under Robbins were from more dangerous areas. But now that they're sort of encouraged to defend the box a little bit deeper and make them shoot from positions where they've got less chance to score. That's just me brainstorming off the stats. And I think that's why they're doing it. But there's a lot to be improved in that defence, as we saw on Saturday. We got embroiled in an absolute slugfest, really, when we didn't need to. So, but that's the Championship as well. That happens. You can't play really well every game. It just is what it is. And in regards to Josh Eccles, I think that what we've got, what is he, 4th choice now? So for me, he's a fantastic 4th choice central midfielder at this level.
Okay. Before we finish on the Oxford game, Tom, just to get your view on Oxford away as an away trip. Every fan base we've spoken to says actually it's one of the worst away trips we've done. Location of the ground, etc., etc. How was your trip?
Ball ache, to say the least. Okay. Really, I mean, I drove to the park and ride, got the bus in, and the ground's miles away. It was tricky to get there. And after the game, you've got to wait for another bus back. Although the ground itself, it's a bit tin pot. No offense to Oxford, the free stands. Although I will say the weather played a brilliant part on Saturday. It was amazing. It was scorching the whole day, the 3 points. It was a great day overall, but it's a bit of a tin pot ground, really, with the 3 stands. I don't really get the design, but it's a bit of a ball ache to get to.
There won't be any Oxford fans watching this, don't worry.
I can only apologise because I do actually quite like Oxford. I've got quite a lot of Oxford mates.
Not anymore, Jay, this is the first time in over 55 years, according to Coventry statistics, that you've made it 8 wins in 9 League games. This team is special. And actually, following that tweet, there were so many Chelsea fans, Everton fans, and fans just generally of football saying, yeah, we want Lampard to do this. Everton fan here, so happy for Super Frank. Reece says, I'm going to say this, I like this squad more than I like the 23 squad. There is an outpouring. I'll talk more about it in a minute when we get to the playoff final chat. There's an outpouring of love for Coventry because of Frank. Are you feeling that as a fan, that there is this almost footballing world uniting behind Coventry doing well?
Yeah, it's quite nice to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, that was to Jay.
Yeah. Sorry, no,
get out of there, Tom. Get out of there. Stop him talking. Yeah, I would say definitely. Yeah, we get week on week now. A lot of Chelsea fans are sort of saying that Coventry is the second team now. A few, probably a little bit less Everton fans saying it. But a lot of these clubs really, really love Frank Lampard, and they all really wanted to see him do very well. Obviously, when we hired him, we weren't getting as much love. There's a lot of bad things said about him. He's not a good coach, etc., etc. But yeah, a lot of fans are loving him. A lot of fans want him to do well. He's an England legend. So the fact that he's actually doing well, a lot of people are actually changing their tune. You see it on TikTok and Twitter. A lot of people sort of holding their hands up and saying, "Yeah, fair enough, we got it wrong. He's actually a decent manager. He's doing very, very well." With the records, it's the first time we've won 8 and 9, I think, in 55 years. Fantastic. First time we've beaten Preston for God knows how many years. Fantastic. First time we've beaten Swansea for X amount of years. Fantastic. The man's been in the job for 3-4 months, so he's breaking all these records in such a short time without really having much of a win. He brought in Grimes, obviously, amazing player. He's brought in Patson as well, who's more of a squad player, but he's doing it with a squad that's not necessarily his. So, and you can tell. Personally, I can see the small little changes in tactics where things are a little bit tighter, players are a little bit sort of close together, sort of to make it a little bit harder for the opposition and a little bit easier for ourselves, getting players into the box and stuff. So I personally think he's doing a fantastic job as a Coventry fan, absolutely loving him at the moment. And also, yeah, it's fantastic seeing he's getting a lot of love from the footballing world, which is amazing to see. And as you can see from the videos that he does, all the Coventry fans absolutely think he's amazing. He's doing a fantastic job. And it's like he's really settling in and he's really enjoying his time at Coventry in such a short space of time. And you can tell he gets the fans, which maybe Everton like him, why the Chelsea fans like him, because he sort of gets it. He sort of understands the fans and he sort of plays into it all as well. So overall, it's going really well for him, and it's really good to see that he's getting a lot of love from the footballing community.
Yeah. Ben, is Doug getting that same appreciation now? I mean, Paul Smith is getting very embarrassing to those who thought Doug was in the wrong getting River Robbins. We go back to those videos of you lot when it first happened. I think some of us were in that camp of what is he? I wasn't looking at you, Tom, but
I hold my hands up. I do.
Do you think Doug's people have got a different version of Doug now because of how well Lampard's done?
Well, there's always been a little contingency of us that have supported Doug because, let's be real, he's not done anything wrong, has he? He hasn't, has he? He's done everything right. He's building the club from the ground up. He's doing the training ground. He's not just throwing loads of money at players. He's doing it astutely. And I don't think he's getting the credit he deserves, really. But at the end of the day, he's an owner, isn't he? Why should he? Sort of thing. That's what he's supposed to be doing. But do you know what I mean? So Lampard should take the credit and the players should take the credit mainly, which they are doing. But yeah, I'm a big Doug King fan personally, and I think he's doing everything right by the club and people. But he isn't. He's Sisu as well. Remember that.
One thing though, Ben. Well, one thing that you said there, he's doing everything that owner should do. Unfortunately, a lot of don't do what he's doing. That's the thing. So we see it so often in football clubs now where they run badly, and it's quite a shock. Our accounts came out recently, and that all looks really positive and rosy and stuff as well. So the only thing in my eyes that he didn't do well is the departure of Robbins and the way he sort of dealt with it. He could have put a bit of a nicer message out or done a nice little video. But I think everything. And the good thing about him, when he makes mistakes, he holds hands up. And he backtracked on doing like the New Sky Blues costs and all that sort of stuff. He sort of backtracked. He listens and he sort of he sort of listens to the fans and sort of admits his mistakes, which I think is fantastic as an owner. And as you say, Ben, what you want from it is to spend money on the playing squad, give you the best facilities possible. He made a very difficult decision, which looks like was the right decision. So, yeah, I personally think he's doing fantastic myself as well. Apart from that little thing when Robbins left, he should have maybe written a bit of a nicer message.
There was no nice way to sack Mark Robbins, though. There was no nice way to do it. So
it's just a statement. Wasn't it? The statement was a bit short and didn't really. Basically, he's gone. Thank you very much for your service. But, would have been. I'd expected a bit more of a paragraph for his 7 years success and his 4 trips to Wembley. But
right. First of all, before we move on, thank you very much for all the comments and all the likes we've had. Hit 400 subscribers last week. That's absolutely massive for something that's only been going really 31 weeks. So we really, really massively appreciate it. Thank you very much, especially when there's so much other great commentary content out there. 20 minutes of commentary love every single week. This week, we're looking at the February player of the month. We try and do this differently, try and not award it to the player who the club are going to choose. We try and choose the one that perhaps should get it, but won't. Tom, can you kick this off for us?
I'm going with Bobby Thomas. It's a hard choice because there's so many different players to choose from because they've all been so brilliant. But for me, it's Thomas. I think he's been solid. There's a few mistakes in him, but I have noticed his passing's got a lot better, which a lot of us fans, including me, had a big issue with. He scored the winner against QPR in the last minute. That was a massive game. Scored against Preston, to help break the curse as well. So for me, Bobby Thomas, a solid month for him. Really solid player. And I think he's played every game in February. So fair play to him.
Scott?
I'm going to go for Kitchen then. Not scoring goals, but I think since he's come in, however long ago it was, 4 or 5 games now, 6 games maybe. I think he's a bit of an unsung hero. I like his attitude. I like his aggression. He's controlling it a lot more, whereas previously he'd, boiled up a bit too much. But I'll go for Kitchen. I think he's brought some proper aggression to the back four, and I like the noise I can hear when I'm at the ground when he's barking his orders and shouting at players, and I like that kind of thing. So I'll go for Kitchen. Solid player, like him. Ben?
The obvious one would be Jack Radoni, but to be a little bit different, I'd probably say Matt Grimes for the reason it's difficult to move to a new club and he's come in seamlessly. It's like he's played with us for years. He just comes in, sits in that pocket, he gets the ball, he wants it all the time. But both great mentions by the other two as well. Just to be different, I would say Matt Grimes, yeah.
And Jake? We seem to have just lost Jay for a second, so we'll bring him back in a minute. Thank you very much for that. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
No, he can't hear us. All right, okay, let's move on. We are choosing finally this week the Dream Playoff Final. Last week, you relegated the teams that do your head in. This week, we've been asking all our 24 teams across the network to choose the team that we'd like to see in the playoff final. And I'm going to be honest with you, most of the teams that we've asked so far have nearly all said Coventry City they'd like to see in the playoff final. Luton said you deserve it. They felt bad for what happened to you before. The only team that didn't say it was QPR, actually. Who said they just want to see Frank Lampard cry. But other than that, most teams are behind you. So Sunderland said they would love to play anybody but Coventry because they can't beat you. So let's have a look then. Scott, it's May the 24th. Coventry on their way to Wembley. You've got your blue flag, your scarf. You're walking down Wembley Way. Who do you want coming the other direction?
I think it's going to be Burnley. I think if we finish 5th, I think we'll play Sunderland. And a bit like those guys, I think we'll have a good chance against Sunderland over 2 legs. I think Burnley will beat whoever finishes 6th. So I think we'll be playing the Clarets down Wembley Way. Mark, that's my prediction.
Okay. So rather than a prediction, Ben, can you pick the one that you would love to see rather than what you think's going to happen?
Love is a strong word, Mark. But if I had to pick 2 teams, I'd go for Borough because we just have a sort of like a little bond with them after spanking them for 3 years straight. And then probably Blackburn just for the old school sort of vibe about them. Yeah, but I wouldn't pick any of that to. But yeah,
Tom.
Yeah, I'll go with Borough as well. We have a little good romance with them, and we always seem to beat them. So fair play. If I had to choose another team that's not Cov, be honest, it's really tough, actually. I can't even lie. I'll go Watford. I don't know. I just don't mind Watford, to be honest. They're all right. Yeah. It's a hard choice, though, if I want to go with us.
Okay. All the love that you've given, all the teams are giving you, and yeah, you're not spreading it out there well. Jay?
I'll go Borough as well, just for the same reason the guys have mentioned.
Jay,
There's a little bit of... I'm not.
No, he's not. I can hear him.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go Borough just because we've got a bit of love in with them. Also, I'll go QPR as well, just because I live around the corner from them, about a 10-minute walk away from them. So I've got like a little bit of a soft spot for them as well. So they're my two.
Okay, brilliant. Right, we're done. Thank you very much. We got there. Thanks for joining us this week. Next week, we are considering who we want to come up from League One, and we'll be getting your thoughts on Birmingham City rejoining the league and whether you're having any of that. Join us for that discussion next week. Good luck, of course, this weekend against Stoke City, and do what you want with Mark Robbins, but make sure you give him a clap. I think at least he deserves that. Let us know in the comments whether you think he deserves it or not, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Thanks.